Good afternoon, everybody. Greetings and welcome to the Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis platform for what is our very first Sunday afternoon live of the year. So let me start off by saying a very happy new year. Happy new year to all of the queens who are within the sound of my voice right now and those who will watch this podcast in the future, whenever you happen to bump into it online. Welcome. And of course, we want to give a warm welcome to the kings as well, because even though this is the Always Queen platform, we know that the kings are here supporting us and showing us some love. So we welcome you as well. Greetings, everyone. And thank you so much for being here. My name is Therese Millett Joseph, and I created the Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis platform some years ago, many moons ago. And the purpose of this platform is to empower our queens, as the name suggests. And so here on this platform, I offer motivational content, personal development content, mental health content that targets our women and helping them to live elevated and empowered lives. All right. So if you are here for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can find the Always the Queen, the Metamorphosis platform on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram. So if this is the kind of content that you love, then you need to be liking and following and subscribing. Okay. All right. So with all of that said, I want to give my sister queen who is here for the podcast with me today. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have Allison with me today. Allison, greet the people. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. Greetings to everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. It is indeed an honor, a privilege, and a blessing to be on the podcast, Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis. I want to thank you, Therese Millett Joseph, for inviting me. And I want to say a good evening, a good day, a good morning, and a good night to those of your listeners, wherever they may be in the world, on whichever platform they may well be listening. And whether they're listening today, tomorrow, or next week, I want to say welcome. I want to wish you a blessing as we enter, for some, the new year. It's not a new year for everybody, but for those who do celebrate it, I want to wish you well. I want to give you love. I want to wish you blessings and harmony for the year ahead, as well as plenty money. Mm-hmm.
That part.
You're done now. Can't do anything without it.
Absolutely. Yes. I love that. Thank you for sticking that in, Allison, because yes, we need it. Es necesario.
We do. We definitely do need to make a little money to make things happen.
Yes, please. All right.
So to tell you a bit about myself, in a nutshell, as the accent suggests that I was born in England, which I was. So I want to big up the UK crowd. Good evening. In fact, good night to the UK grad. And those of you joining us, I'm a teacher by trade. I teach English language and literature by trade. That is my trade. And then I left and went to Antigua, and I'm now a radio host here in Antigua and Barbuda for a radio station, which is the second longest running station in Antigua and Barbuda, ZDK 97.1 FM, where you find the delightful Dr. Therese Millett Joseph joining me on a Thursday. And as well, we talk about all kinds of things. Everything, anything and everything. Sometimes I have guests, and of course I have the audience who give me willingly their time, and I give thanks for them on a regular. All two of you, which I know that's not true, but I do appreciate everybody that takes the time out to listen and even contribute as well in the mornings. I do the breakfast show. So, and we've just had our time extended in the morning. So I must be doing something well.
You must be.
I must be, But with that being said, I'm really glad to be here. I haven't written anything down. I'm here, hands free, heart open, mouth ready, to just share. All I have right now is my truth. So,
Right?
we'll work with that.
And that's all we do here on the Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis platform. We
I thank
speak
you, man.
our truth. That's what we do. And today's topic, by the way, if there's anyone who is listening or logging in for the very first time and you've never been on this platform or never come across one of my lives, I do this every 2 weeks. So every other Sunday afternoon, we go live and we tackle mental health topics, personal development topics, you name it, we do it right here, all in the name of empowering and elevating our lives as queens,
Mm.
right? Um, so this is the very first time we're going live in 2024. And
Right.
so I thought it was a good idea for our very first topic to be lessons of 2023.
Ooh,
So that's what we're going to be
ooh,
tackling today. Yes.
ooh, child. Ooh,
Ooh, child, because
ooh.
2023 was a year.
Oh, it definitely was. We could say that about every year. Well, I think we say that about every year in truth.
We
2022
must.
was a year. 2020 was a year, you know. And I
Yeah.
think anything kind of like post COVID has become, how can I say, it's become even more paramount, even more, like it's more there. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I can't find a word to suggest, but it's become more prominent. Things have
Maybe
become
we
more
are more
prominent.
sensitive. Maybe we're more
Yeah, that
sensitive.
that too. And so maybe a lot of things have become more prominent. Things that weren't so important and now important. People are refocused, people are re-evaluating things and stuff like that. But I don't know, sometimes I just feel that although we try and change, sometimes I do think sometimes things remain the same. So 2024 for me, I am definitely taking lessons out of 23, 22, 20, 21, 19. I'm taking lessons because every year has taught me something. But you're right, 2023 was an impactful year. And I'm sure impactful for a lot of people in so many different ways, so many different ways. And again, a woman my age, and I'm not feeling old. Don't think that I'm feeling old because I definitely don't.
Right.
But I do feel that once you have certain numbers against you, it makes you think. It really makes you think, okay, right, I haven't got time to play. I haven't got time to mess around. I haven't got time to waste on little things, silly things, or things that can't elevate me or
Mhm.
improve me in some way. And I think that's for a lot of people, regardless of their age. I'm sure that may well be the same thing. But I think at times, as a woman, I have to be honest with myself about my capabilities, my weaknesses, my strengths. And sometimes even you and I talk, and sometimes what I think is a weakness, you turn it around. And you're like, girl,
Call me the queen of finding the silver lining
that
behind the
that
dark
that that's a
clouds.
strength,
Yes.
and it allows you to. I think people need to be allowed to be. They need to be allowed to be, to find, to scratch those proverbial knees. You fall and then you get up. It doesn't matter how quickly, but as long as you get up, because with each motion in your body rising,
Mhm.
strength is gathered. Strength is definitely gathered. So for that, yeah, I'm looking forward to 2024. It started with a bang. It has started with a bang, but yeah, I just got to
Yeah.
suck it up, buttercup. Got to
Yeah.
suck it up.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're going to take 2024 by storm
Oh, we
without,
have to.
without
Yeah,
a
yeah.
doubt.
Mm.
We're going to take 2024 by storm. I agree with you. I think that we are now more cognizant of our
Mm-hmm.
quality of life than we
Mm-hmm.
were pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think the pandemic and the COVID-19 experience really caused a lot of people to stop and focus and think about what's really important.
Mm.
What really is important,
Yeah.
I think being faced for 2 straight years, being faced with our mortality, the way
Oh,
we are,
yes. Yes.
being faced with the fact that you could be here today and gone today.
Yeah.
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 Not
Pretty
here today
much.
and gone tomorrow, here today
Hmm.
and gone
Gone
today.
today. And has
I
that
think
changed?
no, that has not. That has not. People are dying,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think having to come face to face with our mortality in that way during
Mm-hmm.
that COVID-19 pandemic caused a lot of people to stop and go like, whoo, I
Mm.
am wasting a lot of time focusing on things that don't really matter.
Exactly.
Like at the
Exactly.
end of the day, they do not matter. And
Mm-hmm.
what they are actually doing is reducing the quality of life that people are living.
Right.
And
Right.
we're so focused on things that really just at the end of the day, they don't matter.
No.
We are giving them far more importance than
Mm-hmm.
they really should be given. And so I think that became front and center for a lot of people. A lot
Mm.
of people suddenly realized that this is your life right now that you are
Mm.
living. It is not,
Exactly.
it's not a dress rehearsal.
Rehearsal.
You
Exactly.
don't get
Yeah.
a do-over
Yeah.
of this. There
Mm-hmm.
will
Mm-hmm.
not be another Sunday, the 14th of January, 2024. This
No.
time has gone into eternity,
And
you
for
know?
some people, and for some people, they think tomorrow, the 15th of January, is also theirs. You
But
know,
it's not.
it's not. There's
It's not.
no guarantee. Exactly. There's no guarantee anymore.
Can you
You
turn
know.
your light on? I can't see you very well, and I'm sure our listeners are not going to be able to see you either. Ooh, that's a little tiny bit better. Okay.
Well,
All right.
I'm gonna do something in a moment. Don't worry. I'm gonna
Okay.
do something, which means I might change my location, but I am gonna do something.
That's fine. That is fine. That's absolutely fine. I just want to make sure that we can see your beautiful face, Allison. We don't want them to miss out. All right. Stop it, Therese. Stop it. Okay.
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right. So one of the things, so I think that is, just to finish up the point I was making, I think that is why now people are paying more attention
That's
to
true.
how their life is flowing
That
than they
is
were
true.
before. People
Yeah.
are not taking their time for granted anymore.
Mhm.
Which is why now I think, because we're taking life so seriously now, I think when things do not go well, I think we feel more deeply now.
I do. I do. I do. And again, we do. I mean, again, I think of me and where I'm at, and it's taken me a little while to stop beating myself up for not being where I think I should be, or in the place where I should be, and all that. I have stopped, and what I've done is taken, instead of stopped and not be trying to be anywhere, I am now being more practical with myself. I'm being easier with myself, not easier and less demanding of myself, because I have to study, I have to work, I have to plan, I have to make things happen. But at the same time, I'm not beating myself now for something not working out, or something not going the way I thought it would go, or I'm not degenerating myself or putting myself. A friend of mine showed me that I was in a way using my age as my Geiger count, and like, oh my god, and then someone said to me, but Allison, come on, you got so much more than that. Come on, you're not old, you're not this, you're not that. You gotta. And I started to look at the things that I do have, what is going for me. I've still not found all of them yet, because that again is a journey. I mean, life, Lord.
Yes.
I thought when you got to 18, and then 21, everything's all, no. Life be lifing. 30, you find yourself in a situation. 45, you find yourself in a situation. 55, I'm actually living the life of a college student. Can you imagine?
I can, Allison. I can. I might be doing a little bit of that myself these days. I mean, you know, kind of, sort of, because I am still in school. I am still in school.
There you go.
You know, so maybe not full on college student, maybe more grad student, but still
Student.
Yeah. So I get it. And you know, firstly, there is no such thing as too old.
No, I've learned
that is not a thing. Can we leave that in 2023?
Oh, that's gone. That's in 2023.
That's not a thing.
That's out there. That's
not a thing. I was scrolling on was it Instagram? It could be LinkedIn, it could be Instagram, I don't remember. And came across a story of a lady who completely did a career switch at the age of 43. At the age of 43, after doing something else for her whole life.
Right.
Complete career switch, and decided she wanted to go back to school to study medicine and become a doctor.
And you know what? You're right, because a lot of people have been doing that. I read a sports guy couldn't do sports anymore because of injuries to his body. Went back to school. He's now a doctor. In fact, he's a surgeon, I believe.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I've left that in 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you know what, Allison? Do you know what? She
that?
went back to school at 43. I think she eventually graduated at 47 or 48. And she became a doctor. But in that interim, while she was in med school, she met and married.
What are you saying, girl?
I said she met and married.
Girl,
the love of her life. Okay?
There's hope.
There is, as long as you're above ground, Allison.
Oh, honey, come on now. Aesthetically, you can be above ground and look like you're underground. You understand? So we got to get that part right. Not everybody that's above ground looks good.
That's another show.
That's another show. For sure. You know what? I'm realizing it is getting too dark in here. Do you mind if I take us somewhere else where we might get a little bit more light? I do apologize for disrupting the first podcast, but I really thought that I could do it in my vehicle, but I forgot that Antigua gets dark like at 4 o'clock.
Yes. It's fine. You can move.
So I'm gonna move and groove. Welcome to Antigua and Barbuda, folks. Just give you a little outing. Yeah. Let me just lock up this silly thing, and I'm gonna take you on a journey.
You're making me want to head back to Antigua.
Girl, you need to come home for sure. I'm telling you. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you into one of the places where I work. Now, this is Antigua. You can see it live.
For anybody who's never been to the Eastern Caribbean.
Welcome to the Eastern Caribbean.
Welcome to the beautiful island of Antigua.
And there's more lights.
Absolutely. I love it. Very good. Perfect.
There you go. I'm going to do, I don't want the echo, so I'm taking you a little further. Just a little further.
This is perfect. I can see you now. I
don't
know why you were trying to hide your beautiful face from the people.
Oh, girl. I don't like people seeing me. How's this?
We're leaving that in 2023 too.
Girl, I can't leave everything in.
All right. So there's something else you said that I wanted to comment on. You spoke about learning to not be so hard on yourself. Yes. And that is on my list. That is on the list of things that I am going to be leaving in 2023. And that is that I am in 2024 going to be I'm going to be learning to give myself more grace. And
yes,
you know, I feel like it is much more difficult for me as a therapist
Oh,
to give
yes.
myself grace. And I'm going to tell
Why?
you why.
Please.
I believe that it is a greater struggle for me. I know a lot of people struggle with this, but I feel like as clinicians, it is a greater struggle for us because we tell ourselves that we should know better. We tell ourselves, you went to school to study this. We tell ourselves, you have all of these degrees qualifying you to help other people fix their lives. We tell ourselves, you spend your entire day telling other people how to sort themselves out, how to make smarter, wiser choices and decisions.
True.
How then do you get to let yourself off the hook when you do something that was absolutely ridiculous and you come into the realization later that you should never have done that? That was a very poor choice. Very poor. When you catch yourself as the therapist making decisions that are coming from a place of trauma, when you catch yourself as a therapist making decisions that are clearly emotionally made decisions and not rationally made decisions, when you catch yourself as a therapist who spends every day telling people not to do that,
True.
how do you let yourself off the hook? And that is the struggle. That is why I say I think it is harder for us. And that is a work because I need to do in 2024.
Because you're kind of held to a different kind of standard, aren't you?
You are.
And I guess the expectation is that everything in your life should be fine, like perfect. Like, because you're a communicator, you have the strategies, you know all the scientific, medical terminology, you understand illness, you understand you in therapy, in treatment, you talk, you analyze, you discuss, you give them different ways, you offer them tools to go away and try. And then you think to yourself, well, hold on a minute. What about me? I know for me, in my personal life, I know as a radio host, I think we are held to a standard. We are held to by our listeners, by our audience, by those who are affected by us, by the people we interview. And I find that sometimes I find it a little unfair because I'm human. I'm a human being. I struggle. I struggle with things just like everybody else. I struggle with relationship issues, friendship issues. I struggle just like anybody else. So, but just because I may be doing what I do doesn't mean I have all the tools or all the answers to be able to, make things right in my life. But because you're human, I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. Right. I mean, one thing is I will own up to them. I will own up to my mistake. I will say when I'm wrong, but I'm going to defend myself if I feel, and I think that for me is another thing. I have to defend. And I find that a bit of a struggle. I find that a struggle. I do. Well, I do. But you're right. You're right. Being a therapist, it is because it's how people see you, how people on their different levels deal with you, is how they see you, how they perceive you. And that, I'm sure, Therese, people see you as strong, articulate, intelligent. They come to you for guidance. What would happen if you went to somebody for guidance?
Well, as therapists, we do go to other people for guidance in our own personal lives. I mean, we have our own stuff to unpack too, and so the therapist does from time to time go to a therapist. We are encouraged to do that. You can't carry around all that stuff without
True.
decompressing at some point in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So we do also go to therapy to deal with our stuff, or at least we should. Um, but I think what may shock people, even though they hear that you say you go to therapy to deal with your stuff, they still somehow, that even that does not undo this vision that they have, that they carry around in their minds, of this perfect life that you are apparently living.
Having, exactly.
Nothing shakes that
No,
until maybe they hear of something terrible going on in your personal life, and then
right.
they are quite literally shook. Like they are
Yeah.
shook because,
Yes.
but she's a therapist, so
Yeah.
how, because she's supposed to have it all together, like this,
Right. True.
and so there is that you have to
Hmm.
battle with, and that makes it so hard for you
Yeah, I can
to
see
give
that.
yourself grace.
I can see that. I can see that.
Give
I can
yourself
see that.
grace when you mess up and make poor choices, which we do.
I beat myself up. I beat
do.
myself up. I do. And I tend to do it in hiding as well. I tend to do it in hiding. It's like I become a cocoon myself, like no one else can see me. And I try and, Alison, and then I come back out of my cocoon, but it's not like I've disappeared. You see me, I'm here. I just had to take that time out to have a word with myself. I feel like I'm constantly having a word with myself.
I do more than have a word with myself.
Oh, girl,
sometimes I be sucker punching myself.
Oh, girl, I'm surprised sometimes people don't see the bruises.
Listen,
because when you're a professional, regardless whether you're a counselor, whatever your profession is, as long as you're professional, and so there's a certain standard put to you as an individual, be you male or female, regardless. Yeah. It's like you can't make a mistake. Yeah. It's like you're not allowed to make a mistake. It's like, you get one of the things I'm going to definitely take into 2024 is learning how to take the positive criticism, the negative, take it and use it for what it's supposed to be used for, a learning tool. Yeah. It's not a stick to beat me up. It's not something that's about my whole life. It's about one thing and maybe one tiny aspect. And I think that's what I have an issue with. That's one of my problems. You will say something to me, and then my mind starts thinking about every single thing. Like, wow, that means I must be horrible. And oh my gosh. And I go down this road of, adding that one thing that you said, and you might have given it purely out of love.
Right.
But I've now gone a whole tangent, and I'm now like, oh, and I put that one thing to the whole of me. You understand? And I've got to stop doing that. Yeah. That's like victimization behavior. Like I'm pulling more negative, and it may not have even been negative. Yeah. You understand? It may have just been one aspect. Alison, you take this too personally, whatever. And then I'll be like, oh, so that means I take this person, I take that person, I take that, I remember someone said that when I try not to hurt somebody's feelings, I try to be generalized. I generalize so that I'm not talking to you per se, I'm generalized. And really I should be talking direct to you. Yeah. And even with that, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't, I'm not able to, I can't, and I put it to the whole of me and like for the whole of time, and it's wrong. It's wrong. And I need to let that go. And I need to understand that when people are talking to me, guiding me, being supportive, they're not looking at the whole of Alison and the whole of your life. No, they're just looking at that one bit. And that's one thing you can fix.
Yes. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So maybe taking
absolutely.
things, not beating myself up so much, maybe taking things less personally and more objectively. That way I can see what they're saying for what it is. And what I've done in 2023 is I use some of the things that I've learned from people, and I've actually been trying to put into place, you know, put it into place so that this year, 2024, as I come out, as I show out, as I, I've learned that that is definitely something that's come off. I can
Yeah. Yeah.
knock that
Yeah.
off the shoulder and not have to take that with me, and it's a good thing, because now I'm like, okay, I can possibly try now. Let's put it into practice. Let's put it into
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. I want to pause for just 1 second and greet the people who are in the chat section.
There's people
We
here.
have some queens giving.
Me.
We have some queens who are greeting us. So I just wanted to pause. I don't want people to think that we're ignoring you. I see you. I see you. Greetings, queens, Emerald and Tracy. Good evening and blessings to all of you, and happy Sunday to you too. Thank you so much for being here and for listening in to today's live podcast. All right. So another thing I wanted to touch on, this is kind of me circling back to something else that you said, where you mentioned the fact that I like to find the silver lining behind every dark cloud,
You do.
And that's another lesson from 2023 that I'm definitely going to be bringing with me into this new year and applying more. It's something that I have always tried to practice, but I feel like I need to be more committed and consistent with it in 2024. And that is learning the important role that failure plays in our lives.
Yes. Yeah.
And we don't like to admit that, but it is true that failure plays a huge role in our progress as human beings.
Definitely.
A lot of the things that we have learned and mastered, skills that we have now that are hugely beneficial to us, we first failed miserably in attempting these things, and we are now skilled at them. Many of us make a living doing some of these things that we initially failed at.
True.
And we did that because failure played a role in our development. Failure played a role in our learning resilience. Failure played a role in, the stick-to-itiveness, if you will, that we apply to our day-to-day lives.
Right.
These are lessons that come out of having failed. Had to start over again from scratch and learning that, okay, I did it this way that last time and it didn't work out. Let me try it this other way the next time around. This is growth. This is growth. This is quite literally how we grow. And so when you begin to understand and really embrace the important role that failure plays in your forward movement as a human being, you stop viewing failure as a terrible thing.
True.
And you also lose your fear of failure, because a lot of us live with fear of failure. And because we fear failing, we don't attempt things that we want to do, because we prefer to not try than to try and fail. This is what a fear of failure does. And if you choose to not try because you fear failure, you have no idea what kind of opportunities you are letting pass you by in life.
Exactly.
No idea.
That, definitely agree with you. I think failure is and sometimes the more you fail and the more you show back up, the more lessons you are learning, the more consistency, because you don't go back down that road. You don't go back down that road, and you learn out of it. And it can be empowering. It can be empowering at times to not get it right, the first, the second, the third time. But the thing is, your consistency to yourself, you know, your
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yes.
This is not a word, folks.
important
This is not a
lesson.
word.
No, you know, that is so important. And I agree with you. That is something we definitely need to take into 2024. Yeah, because failure is not a shame. To fail is not to shame. Or should not be something you should be ashamed of.
Right.
The time that you don't get up and try or continue, then we might have to have a conversation, you know, because you've learned something out of it. As you say, you, madam, you know, will find that silver lining in that failure. You understand? And what might be like, oh gosh, I can't go on for one person. The other person next to you might be like, did you not see what you've achieved out of this? You've done this, you've done this, you've done this. Okay, that final bit you wanted may not be there right now, but come on. No, you're right. That's 2024. That's coming. That's coming with
Take notes.
That's coming with me.
I read somewhere a quote that says, and I always repeat this to myself in moments where I feel like I am failing at something or have failed at something, and that is that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. It's not the opposite. It's a part. It's a part of the journey towards success. You will encounter failure. You will encounter failure. And I will add another thing to that point, and that is that, you know, failure is an opportunity for you to do whatever it is better the next time around. So that's actually good for you. That's actually good for you. Many times, and I said this to you, you know, just a few days ago, that many times whatever didn't work out for you, or at least in your mind, it didn't work out for you. But sometimes at the end of the day, when you reassess the situation, you realize that what didn't work out for you actually worked out for you.
Right.
Yes, or whatever didn't work out turned out to be in your best interest, that it didn't work out the way you had wanted it to. You just didn't know it at the time.
It's like that thing that when they say that God is saving you. You know, like sometimes you're late for something, you know, you're coming out your house and you can't find your key, and you can't, the left shoe's missing, and you're searching and you're starting to, you know, and then you're wondering why. And then when you get somewhere, and it has happened, to get somewhere and realize that happened. Yeah. And you realize you were saved. You don't maybe even recognize it at the time, but you were saved from something. And you're right, you know, you don't know what you think as a person is, that's my end goal. This is where I want to be. May not be the right place for you.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes the delays in our lives, the things that we desperately want and don't get, sometimes it's for our protection.
Sometimes it's for our protection. So where we feel that, you know, I never get what I want and I never seem to achieve. But no, you may well have been saved. The journey, the road that you are actually on, which you may not be recognizing as the road that you need to be on, it might be the road, the right road for you, because you've avoided certain things. Sometimes you look at things, you know, like even the loss of a person, you know, like the loss of a loved one. You get angry, you're vexed, you have all these emotions and feelings, and you're like, no, this was, you know, they always tell you the right people at the wrong time, you know, that kind of thing. But you never know, that might be, it's never good to lose someone, no, but you don't realize how strong you are now, you know, when you look back, you think, oh my gosh, you know,
girl,
don't worry, girl, you know, how wrong you were. I mean, don't get me wrong, emotions come into it, but I look at myself sometimes, situations that have happened, I realize, oh my God, look how you've grown. Look how you've grown. When that person was around, you were doing A, B, C, but look at you now. So sometimes we need to, you're right, we have to, going back to the first thing that you said, that we have to give ourselves grace.
Yeah.
We have to give ourselves grace. Give yourself grace for the fact that you showed up. You may not have performed as well as you wanted to, but you showed up and you were there, and you're going to learn far more than if you didn't show up.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I mean, we talked the other day. I think one thing that I have to definitely work on is a trust thing. Trust. I really need to, and it's more about me trusting me. And as you said, when we make wrong decisions. We make wrong decisions. We do things that people may not think, oh, Alison, you did that? Yeah. And, I had a weak moment. No, it wasn't a weak moment. I made that decision, and I've got to stand by it. So I'm definitely learning. I have to trust. I have to put more trust in me. And, people will look at us and say, and think we're confident. We're confident. We've got it going on, kind of thing. And I sometimes the most lacking in confidence in some of the areas of my life that I'm like, I'm surprised sometimes I actually do show up.
And this would shock people. This would shock people.
I'm surprised. So I have to really work on that.
This would shock
people, but
who would be like, but she's a radio talk show host. What? She can't possibly lack confidence.
Girl, you want to see me in class? I'm like, I'm one of them students that need, the teacher has to say, this, Alison, this is what you, well done. I need that feedback. And
you need that positive affirmation.
I need the affirmation because
yes,
I just did a test this week. I did 2 tests this week. One gave me the grade back more or less straight away, and I think I got like 73%. And I was kicking myself. I was like, oh my god. My first test, is that all I got? Oh my god. So now I've got to, I'm pushing myself now to like do more, and I'm studying more, and I'm on the phone. Teacher, I know, and I'm the oldest one in the class.
What does that have to do with anything?
But I'm just showing you, like, no, but I'm just saying, like, confidence. People would think I've got confidence, like, that I can. But I'm just letting you know that, I may be confident when I'm on air and I'm a radio host. And I can argue and talk, and I can come back with the quick liners and, but I'm sitting in a classroom. Yes, miss. And then my different element, out of my element. Yeah. And so where I'm usually the teacher of the class, setting the class, doing the lesson plan, setting the aims, the objectives, what is my learning outcome? I'm now on the receiving end. At times I'm like, what are your aims? What are your objectives? What is the outcome? Looking at the teacher. For me, what do you expect me to know and do? And then I say to myself, okay, Alison, what do you have to do to get to that point? And I think the trust, again, that confidence in myself, I need to build that up and take that with me from today, moving into 2024. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Something to practice.
Yeah, I think the reason why I say it is because people seem to think that everybody has their doo-doo together. And I'm just here to say, no, we don't. Let's do what we can, control what we can. And those things that we don't have control over, as a really good friend of mine said to me the other day, it's not about how the act that's happening to you, it's how you react. And there are a variety of levels of reaction. There's a 0 reaction. And there's, and then it goes up, You
always have the option of a 0 reaction.
All right. And that's where girl, you should have seen me today. It was.
You were at a 0.
I was at a 0. Oh, 0. But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked because after the fact, even though the same things happened, I wasn't the same. I wasn't the same, you know.
Yeah.
So for that, oh yeah,
You can
definitely.
train your brain. You can train your brain to respond differently to the same stimuli that is so terribly triggering to you right now.
Oh, I am telling you. Sorry, we fell over there. I am telling you,
You
it's
can.
empowering. That is
Yes.
empowering. That for me was empowering because I actually sat back and was like, "You go, Alison, Ali B. This is okay. You're okay. This is okay. You've done it. You've done this. You've done that. No, you don't have to respond now. That's it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. So again, trusting the people that I got around me. All right, trusting them. Oops, sorry, I'm noticing you can't. There you go. Trusting the people around me, and then trusting what they're saying to me. Trusting myself to be able to put that into action, and it worked. I feel empowered that I can now continue to train my brain. You know, to let's do. I mean, I had a conversation with someone today, and that didn't go well. I went back to give a reaction. I didn't go to 0. I was like at 200, but it was a difference. This time I was more defending protecting my space.
Mhm.
And that had to be kind of done as well. So yeah, you learn to balance it. You learn where it's needed, and that the responding part of it, and taking out the emotion and looking at it for what it made a big difference today. So I want to say
Right.
big up to my good friend for that, that information. So again, and again, listening to people.
I wonder who that was, but
I wonder who that was. I think
I
I'm going to
wonder.
call her. I'm going to call her. There's a brilliant book, Cloud with a Silver Lining. I need to get your copy so that you can read it. It's an absolute. You didn't read it in school?
I did not.
You didn't?
No, I
Look at
didn't. You
you.
need to get me
It's
a
a
copy of that book.
All right, it's a book they read here in Antigua in the secondary schools, and it's called A Cloud with a Silver Lining. And I have to
I didn't
say,
read that in school.
it's an amazing book, and for inspiration. It's about two brothers living in Jamaica with their granddad. It's an amazing book, amazing, and you will definitely. And they're living in the country. They ride donkeys. It's that old school style of book, of story, but it has so many lessons in it. I'm definitely going to try and get you a copy so that you can have your namesake.
All right. Thank you, Alison.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, to piggyback on something that you said, you were talking about your struggle with confidence, with trusting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And this brings me to another thing that I have on my list of lessons that I really want to incorporate into my life in 2024. And that is learning to take up space. Learning to take up space in this world.
Oh, okay.
Unapologetically.
Okay.
Authentically. When I say take up space, I mean stop acting like somebody gifted you a seat at the table. And when I say the table, the professional table, the whatever table you happen to be sitting at in your life, stop showing up as if somebody did you a favor by giving you a seat at that table.
Because you earned it.
They didn't do you a favor, sis. You earned it.
You earned it. You earned it.
You worked for it. You're qualified to be seated at that table. There's the reason you're there. That's the only reason you're there. It's not because somebody, as they would say in Antigua, somebody gave you a blight.
True that.
Say, let's just give her a little chance there. No. You are at the table because you deserve that
Earned
seat.
it. True that.
Now,
that's true.
And you need to start showing up. We are often so fearful about taking up space. We don't want to take up space. Even when we deserve to take up the space, we're trying to make ourselves small. And just, I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm just going to be over here in this corner. No, that is over in 2020. No, listen, we're going to be taking up so much space in 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
My belly.
listen, 2024 is the year of taking up space. I am going to, and I'm taking it up authentically. I am not only am I going to be showing up and taking up space, taking up space in the in real life, in the virtual space as well, doing these types of broadcasts. But I'm
Okay.
also going to show up as 100% authentic version of myself. So you're not just going to get Therese Millett Joseph, counseling psychologist, psychotherapist. No, you're going to get Therese, the Black Caribbean woman.
Oh Lord. Father.
You're going to get the passionate, full-on version of me. Because I am all those things. I am Therese Millett Joseph. I am the counseling psychologist. I am the psychotherapist who is passionate about what she does and loves what she does. But I'm also a girl from a little Eastern Caribbean island called Antigua, who grew up riding donkeys like the boys that you mentioned in that book, with her grandmother, cooking outside on a coal pot, not on a stove. You know what I mean?
I hear you, Queen.
And so the authenticity of it all is going to be in everybody's face. I will not dilute who I am. I will not dilute who I am to make anybody comfortable. I exist in the intersection of all of those things. I am all of those things.
You are, and more.
And more. Yes. And so I am done with the whole I have to show up in a particular way, because an authentic version of me is not acceptable in whatever space I happen to be in, because somebody's going to frown on it. Somebody's going to frown at the fact that I have my hair wrapped because it's not professional. Or maybe I don't have my hair wrapped. Maybe I have my hair out and they're like, she has dreadlocks. Also not professional. You know? And and that's just one random example. That's just one random example. But I'm just saying, the authenticity of you is not supposed to be diluted because other people are. This is 2024. This is 2024. Everybody's talking about diversity and equity and inclusion. This is what it looks like. It looks like not requiring people to code switch so that you can be comfortable.
Yeah.
Code switching looks like me making sure that I take all the Caribbean accent out of my voice. So that somebody else in the room doesn't say, I don't understand what she's saying. You know, and that type of thing. You know, and so it's knowing when to change where you are versus changing who you are.
Who you are, yes.
And our tendency more often than not is not to change where we are. It's not to relocate,
but to put it on us.
To change who we are. And so I am challenging myself. I don't know about you or anybody who is listening, but I am going to be challenging myself in 2024 to stop changing who I am and instead change where I am, if that location is a place that refuses to allow me to show up as an authentic version of myself.
That is a strong point. That is really positive. Yeah, I am with you on that one. And again, while you're talking, I'm actually in my own headspace saying to myself, oh my gosh, I am like so guilty of that. So guilty of becoming a wallflower.
We're getting some support in the audience. Thank you, Charmaine. Charmaine says, ladies, we're taking up the space.
And we have to. Good evening, Charmaine. Right. Yeah, no, we have to. You're right. We tend to remove ourselves from a space and change ourselves. yeah, so that we can accommodate for the next space. But no, you're right. We need to actually start changing the spaces where we are at, and also how we get into those spaces as well. You know, and that's an important thing. And I've noticed one thing in my endeavoring to change or learn and doing photography and things like that. Yesterday I got a lastminute.com call about work. So I'm listening. I remember I told you my 3 phrases now for, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm listening to this conversation and they're telling me about a photographer who didn't have this, didn't have that, but he was the one they booked for the gig. Yeah. Okay. You're on the phone to me. Now, are you asking for me? Or are you asking for my equipment? Now, either way, it's too late. It's too late. I wasn't the one you wanted to show up. So I'm not going to go and gather everything and rush and for some. No, I'm not, because I would have done. I would have changed and done everything in order to be accepted in that space. But I'm like, no, the space didn't want me at first. He wanted someone else and they can't handle it. So I just told them to use their phone.
Wicked.
You know, because again, I would have shown up. I would have put out, I would have done everything. But they didn't respect me enough,
right,
or consider me enough, maybe, to be the person to do that. You know, and when the person they wanted let them down, then all of a sudden I became the person that they wanted to, because I would have shown up. But I'm like, no, I can't keep doing that. I can't be where they want you, be where you're supposed to be. And as you say, be in a space where you can be your authentic self, not be in a space where, you know.
Look,
no, 2024,
we have a comment here from Tracy. Tracy says, hey, Alison, Tracy, you're too bad.
Yeah, girl. Listen, you know what? We have to really start valuing ourselves. And because, you know, next time, Trace, they're going to say, let's call Ali B and get her on. You understand? Rather than, you know, exactly. Oh, I don't even think, Emerald, that I was their option, babe. I wasn't an option, but I would have shown up and they know I would have put out. But I'm like, no, Alison, value yourself, value the spaces where you put yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so I think with that, you're definitely right. That's something that we have to, you know, push into 2024. More value in ourselves rather than where we are, you know, because we put too much value on the space. Rather than us, you know what I'm saying? So no, that valuation, the validation, we have to have it here.
Yes.
In ourselves first.
Agreed. You know? And here's another lesson for 2024, Alison. Here's another lesson.
Give it to me.
Because you just said it, you know, you talked about valuing yourself. Respecting yourself. Listen, in 2024, we must learn to claim our greatness. We must learn to claim our greatness. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
I'm making notes.
Because how many times does somebody give us a compliment and tell us how good we are at what we do? And instead of saying thank you, we say, it's not even such a big deal. Well, you know, or somebody puts us last on a list, like the example that you just gave, or we don't make the list at all. They do not consider us qualified for whatever the job or the role was. They had another list on which we were not placed. And then all the people on that list don't show up or fail to follow through or are not as good as they thought they were. And then they call you. And then they call you. This is the reason why you need to claim your greatness. Claiming your greatness looks like you acknowledging that you are good. at what you
What you
do.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming your greatness looks like not undervaluing your ability, your skills,
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
talents, your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming your
That's true.
greatness looks like charging people what your work is worth.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm
Claiming
with you
your
on that.
greatness also looks like what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me at the last minute because whoever else you had lined up failed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do business that way.
No.
I need time to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't call me today for today.
Mm.
That is what claiming your greatness looks like in 2024.
Amen. I'm with you on that one.
Claiming your greatness looks like not working for free.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't think that your work is worth paying for. Hello?
No.
I mean, am I listen, if I'm saying something that you believe in, just say amen. That's all.
Amen.
Just
Amen.
say amen.
Charmaine has said something. Charmaine Christian, she said something.
Let me bring up this comment. Let me bring it. I'm gonna pull it up. Ladies, for me this year, it's for more of everything. Love, giving, happiness, caring, sharing. We are not guaranteed time. Ooh.
Amen.
Heavy.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
That is the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what Tracy's in the comment section with the facts, boy. Tracy says, ladies, know your value and your worth. It's very important. And she says,
Amen.
I'm claiming my greatness as a business owner, mother, grandmother. Time is money. Listen, Tracy, you ain't never lied, sis. You ain't never lied. Time is
true.
money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let me just for clarification. I don't want anybody who is listening on any of the platforms, because we are live on 6 different platforms right now. I don't want anybody who's listening to us across the World Wide Web to think that I am suggesting that you should never do anything for free. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do pro bono work. I'm not saying that you shouldn't help people. I am not saying you should never do anything for free. I do lots of things for free.
Same here.
I do lots of work for free. I do a lot of pro bono work that I am not paid for, and I'm happy to do it. I believe in giving back. The Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis platform was created as a way for me to give back. Nothing on any of my platforms has a price tag on it. It's all free. It's all free. So I would never suggest that you should never do anything for free. I am not suggesting that. I do, however, strongly recommend that you know when and where and for who.
Yeah.
I think this is where the issue is, because you can't always work for free. And there are people who would take advantage of the fact that you don't know when to say no. And make that another lesson for 2024. Learn to say no.
Say no. Yeah.
Learn to say no.
Exactly. And that's a big thing, saying no, because often when you say it, you feel people are, you're unkind, you're wicked, you're this, you're that. Sometimes I think we do that for being polite, being polite, and and then it bites you. It bites you in the butt. I mean, it's time to say no. It is. You've got to learn to, and no without any qualification.
No is a complete sentence.
No is the complete sentence, exactly. No qualification. I do not have to explain myself, detail myself of what and why and here. No, I'm not giving you any ammunition for you to then throw back at me because you feel that whatever I'm doing or what my explanation is isn't valid enough or isn't, no is no. Simple no. I can't, no, it's a no. That's a no from me.
Just no. Just no.
That's no. No. And it's such a small word. No.
But very powerful.
No. Very powerful.
Yeah, and a
Very,
lot of people
very
struggle to
powerful.
say it.
And I think you and I have struggled to say it
Oh,
as well.
for sure.
You know, to the detriment. I mean, I've said, instead of saying no, again, where a good friend of mine gave me some advice, and I didn't listen. I didn't say no, but I didn't listen. But in a way, I said no. And your girl. But I picked my phone up and said, your girl, you know what? I am so sorry. I did not listen to you.
Oh boy.
But I'm listening to you now. And I should have said no. I should have done my face in a way. No.
You could also say no with a smile, Alice.
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not
I'm
going
going to try it. But again, no, I agree with you. That is definitely one to take into 2024. Learning to say no with no apology, no explanation, capital N, no, full stop. No, done.
Just right.
Just so.
As Antigans would
Just
say,
so.
just so.
Just so.
Just so.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. I need to pull up this comment for Charmaine. Ladies, I have taught my 4 daughters that there is greatness within them as strong Black women, and there is nothing they can't achieve with hard, honest work, and they are standing on the shoulders of strong women. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep.
We are. We
Well said.
I've stopped using the word strong in my sentences when I refer to Black women.
Tell us why.
Women.
Tell us why.
Because
I already know, but tell the rest.
It's an adjective that we are overstating in something that we already know.
Oh,
you understand?
Understood.
It sounds like sometimes the use of the word can often add not aggression, but it can often have some kind of reaction. I already know. I already know. There's things that's women, regardless of our ethnicity, religion, whatever. As women, we already got that.
We're strong.
I don't need to put that in front of me and saying, I'm a woman. That's already categorized. I am already strong. Yeah, I may not be in strength and muscle, all right, but in my mind, my body, my spirit, from my ancestors, hey, I don't have to tell anybody that. And I think sometimes it's like a double negative. It's a negative
redundant.
and a positive.
It's redundant. It's like saying wet water.
Yeah, you just repeat.
Right. It's like saying, oh, look at that wet water over there. You don't have to say wet water. Water is understood to be wet. I feel like I get you. So you don't have to say strong woman. No. Once you hear woman, it's understood. She's strong.
What I get from Charmaine, all right, is that she's right. That as Black women, there is nothing. You want to make a white baby? You can make a white baby. There is nothing on this planet we can't do. Nothing. And I would challenge anybody to come and stand in my shoes and do what I can do. Yeah? But she's right. There is nothing that can be achieved without hard, honest work and a dedication to oneself. All right? And you are standing on the shoulders of our ancestors who before us were immensely, listen, on a mental, physical, spiritual, metamorphic, listen, on every level. Yeah. And I will could never be as they were, because I haven't had to go through what they did and paved the way for me to be where I am, which is why I sometimes stand up and say, no, you can do this, Alison. You can, because they paved the way. So if it's a school, a job, a place, whatever, I can do it. Why? Because they have set the standard that I can drive. If I want to learn to fly, I can learn to fly. If I want to create and be creative and inventive, I can. Why? Because I got a whole ton of ancestors behind me. We all do, that have done just that. So I don't have that fear. So I know
Uh-oh.
I
Have we
am
lost
a
Allison?
woman.
Okay. No, we're still here.
I am my ancestors. I am my sister. Ah,
No, I thought I had lost
you
you
got
for a
me?
second there. But no, we're hearing you. You're here.
Okay. Good. And Emerald, yes, I'm with you. And saying no without feeling guilty. That's important.
All right. Your connection seems to be a little bit delayed, but we can see you and hear you. We can see you and hear you. We can see you and hear you. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So let's start winding up now, because we are already at a quarter past the top of the hour. Did you see the time? Did you see the time? It's time for us to start wrapping up this conversation.
Did you manage to get through your list?
Going.
Did you manage to get through your list?
Almost.
Let's go through your list.
I have two other things on the list.
Go for it.
So one of the things that I haven't touched on my list is that we must learn that suffering and victory can coexist. I'm just let that sink in. Sink it. Massage it in.
Girl.
Because we have a thing.
It's in the line with failure and success. Keep going.
That. We have a thing as humans. I don't know exactly where it comes from. Cultural programming, social programming. I don't know where it comes from. But we have this school of thought that victory is the absence of suffering, the absence of pain, the absence of failure. And that really is not true. In many instances, it is not true. Suffering and victory often coexist.
Exactly.
And we tell ourselves that we haven't won or that we are not winning because suffering is present. Many times you are experiencing suffering, but at the same time, simultaneously, sis, while you are suffering, you are also winning at the same time.
Yes.
I use myself as an example because many times I complain that in my current state, I complain that I am suffering. I'm a grad student. I'm doing this PhD. It's rough. No, not enough sleep sometimes. More bills than money many times. Isolation, loneliness. All of these are a part of the PhD journey. And I could call all of those things suffering. But also,
no, it's true.
Girl, I am winning because I am in one of the best PhD programs in the country. So I'm winning. I'm winning. As one former president would say, I am winning bigly. Because this PhD this PhD is going to change my life. It's going to change my entire career.
Exactly.
There's no getting away from the fact that I am winning right now.
As you're suffering.
As I am suffering right now.
Exactly.
They coexist many times.
As
they
you are
coexist. And so I think that is a lesson I had to learn.
Go
ahead.
No. Because again, people seem to think that because any journey that's worth it, anything that you've got to fight for, anything that's been hard, that's what you're going to keep. That's what you end up keeping. Yeah. The journey, as we've been taught, again, I don't know if it's culturally, our journey is not supposed to be smooth and calm all the way. Well, as we feel we've not achieved anything. It was too easy.
Right.
There has to be an element of suffering alongside that victory. Because otherwise, is it really a victory? Because if you didn't have no sleepless nights, if you weren't vomiting in the morning because you're so anxious or feeling you're going to wreck your stomach because you're cleaning your teeth, if you don't feel like you're sitting there thinking, oh, why am I doing this? I mean, I look at one of my projects from last year at college and it says, I named it, I ain't got time for this. I can't do this or something like that. But your girl, once I finished the project and I changed the name and I had my product that I had created, all that suffering, all that can't sleep, not eating, everything taking up time, having to re-timetable myself in order to get work done. It was worth it. There was my victory. That is my victory. Wars are not victorious unless there is some disaster along the way. Come on. People have to die. You understand? There has to be casualties. But one of those two people are going to be victorious. There is going to be suffering. And, come on, in every, even if you look at the world right now, you know what I mean? Alison, as Mia Angelou says, and I quote you both, are phenomenally women. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Charmaine. Blessed love, Queen.
Thank
you. We appreciate you.
Oh my gosh.
We appreciate
you. Got me
you
all kind of emotional over here. Girl. Charmaine, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Shabiki, George says, the message is timely. Suffering but winning at the same time. I'm telling you, and you know what, sis? If we don't recognize it, that we have to, you kind of have to, for it to be worth it. And also for you, at the end of the day, as Tracy said, hard work pays off in the end of the tunnel. Yes, because you're going to sit there, PhD, you're going to look, that phrase, we're going to look back at this and laugh. We're going to look back at this and laugh. You know that time, Teresa, when I said to you, I can't do it, and I was pulling my little hair out, and I was there. We're going to look back at this time and laugh. And that is so true. You have to have an element of sufferation in order for that victory to even feel sweet. You check where I come from?
Yeah. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory.
Sweet, that's like the black and the berry.
That's what they say.
Juice. Your girl, you have to. We have to.
Yes. Yeah.
But you got one more on your
final
list.
thing on my list. Last and final, and that is pain gives way to purpose.
Look what Tracy just said.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, girl.
No pain, no gain. Pain gives way to purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We need to remember this in 2024.
We do.
Because we did not leave all the suffering in 2023. 2024 is going to bring hard times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always going to be smooth sailing.
No,
there are going to be hurdles. Yes, there will be turbulence.
Mm-hmm.
There will be turbulence.
Mm-hmm.
We must learn. Here is the lesson. The lesson is that we must learn to turn our pain into power. And we must learn it.
I like that. I see that as a logo on a t-shirt. Sorry for touching my breast, but I see that as a logo. Yes. I do.
We must learn as queens. Every queen must learn the art of turning pain into
power.
Never let your pain be wasted.
No. Use it.
There's always a lesson.
Use it.
Use it.
You know?
Use it.
And as someone said to me the other day, and I want to thank my queen Diane for saying this to me the other day, she said, and every weapon formed against me, turn that into prosperity.
Just so.
Just so. Every weapon formed against me, that turns into prosperity. You understand? Because sometimes we look at those negatives as things that are just negative. And we don't see the benefit from it. We don't see the benefit of it. You understand? People are, as you say, life's going to be lifing. People are going to be stabbing. Some people are going to try and pull the rug underneath from our feet. Some people are going to be in the corner whispering. We can't stop that. What we can stop is, you know what? You can stay all that. Stab away. Put it in. Because, you know, I'm going to take those knives. I'm going to cut my steak. Yeah, I'm going to take those knives, you understand? And I'm going to paint. I'm going to take you take their weapons and turn them into something productive. Why?
Right.
Because otherwise you're going to sit down and you're going to be formulating negativity under negativity, and they're going to win. Those little douchebags, they're going to win. And we can't afford them to.
Nope.
Not in 2024.
Nope. No, not in 2024.
Not in 2024.
No, ma'am. No. So that brings us to the end of the list. I see we're getting all of the beautiful greetings from the ladies in the chat section. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, queens. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, my sister queen, Allison B., for being here with me. I appreciate you so much. Yes. You don't even know. Thank you.
You know what? You are so welcome. And again, I'm honored. Honestly, I am honored to have been invited onto this platform. I agree with you, Stacey. Reading is fundamental. I want to thank you for your input, and you, Charmaine, as well, for your input. You know, we as sisters, we as queens, we have to support each other. We have to uplift each other. But Charmaine, Tracy, Shabiki, and I can't remember the other person.
Hello,
where are
Shabiki.
you? I'm going to find you. I think we had a king as well. Emerald, thank you, darling. And there was somebody else I can't remember. But again, I want to thank all of you, one, for your time. But yeah, we're going to have bad days. And I want to be able to come back to this chat, look at the comments, right? And give thanks and say, yeah, okay, that's what I need. That's what I need. I need to say no. You know, I need to be able to put myself in the right space, forget about where I am. I'm the important thing here. I'm the valuable a commodity here right now, because, you know, this is me. I got skills. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. And I want to thank you, Queen, for the invitation. You know, I really do.
It was such a pleasure.
Honored.
It was such a pleasure to have you on. We're going to definitely do this again. We're definitely going to do this again.
And I'm going to be in, you know what, it's progress, because I'm going to be in a better space. And next time, I'm going to be in a better space. I'm going to make sure that I'm not in my vehicle. All right? I'm going to make moves.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to make you move.
We're going to plan.
Hey,
we're going to plan. Hello, Monique. Monique. Is Monique just joining us now that we're ending? What?
And Drayson Brown, Brambles.
Drayson is my brother. Hello, Drayson.
Hello, Drayson.
Drayson said Bramble sounded like fire. I have to re-listen to this. You need to. If you missed out from the beginning, you need to go and re-listen. And by the way, all of these broadcasts are recorded, every last one of them, and you can go and rewatch and re-listen and download and share as many times, as often as you want. As I mentioned earlier, absolutely nothing on my platforms has a price tag on it. So you can watch, you can share, you can download, you can, it's all completely free. So please, if you feel like there is somebody, if there is a queen in your life who you think needs to hear this conversation,
Mhm.
Share this. Share this. You can find the recordings
Share,
on
please.
all of the platforms. You can go back and find the recordings and you can share them.
Mhm.
Okay. Drayson says, bring back
Because we
Rambo.
need
Bring
to
her back.
support each other. We need to we need to stop our crabs in a barrel attitude and really, really not just show out for ourselves, but make sure that we're there supporting our other kings and queens as well. And I would
Yes.
love to come back. I really would. I was scared. I was nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. I was nervous. You see that confidence? You see what you bring out in me, queen?
I'm gonna grow on you. Don't worry. I'm
You
gonna
are.
plan
I'm
another.
telling you.
I'm gonna plan another topic that I know you can make a good contribution to, and I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna have another conversation another Sunday.
We are definitely
Mhm.
gonna have another one. I really appreciate you
Yes.
guys. I love the discussion. I love the vibe. You know, I love the vibe. I really do. And as I said, I'm gonna make sure that I'm in a nice little area next time so you can see me. You know, in my beauty, maybe
All right.
girl,
Yeah.
maybe girl.
We'll be sorted.
I'm showing up,
We'll be
girl.
sorted next
I'm
time.
showing up next time. Guys, have a wonderful evening.
All
The
right.
car made me nervous.
Drayson said the car made you
did.
nervous.
It did. That did, because I mean, people are around me and looking. So that kind of made me nervous because they're like, why is she sitting in her car talking? You know?
Right.
But
yes.
I'm into the building and I do feel good. You know, I really do.
Absolutely. All right. So let's wrap this up. Thank you so very much. Thank you to my sister Queen Allison for being here. This was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you to all of the followers, wherever you are watching or listening, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Where else are we live? On Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you are watching right now. Thank you, because the Always a Queen, the Metamorphosis platform would not be here if it were not for the followers. You are the one that have turned this platform into the movement that it is. It is my absolute pleasure to continue to help you find ways and learn ways and practice ways to live a more empowered and elevated lifestyle. Not just for our queens, but the kings who always tune in as well to support us, like Drayson, you know. Let's continue to love on each other and support each other in 2024. Let's see if we can incorporate the lessons that we discussed into our lives in 2024. Let's go out and take 2024 by storm. Let's do this. All right. And so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's broadcast. Remember that this is recorded. So you do not have to worry if you didn't catch it from the beginning. It's okay. You can go back and watch. The recording is going to be on the platforms, all the platforms. Find one of the platforms, like, follow, subscribe, watch as many of these as you can. You're going to find recordings dating all the way back to I don't know how many years on almost every topic. So if I were you, I'd get some popcorn and binge watch. And on that note, I leave you all with love and light. And remember, this is how I always end my broadcast, Allison. I always end my broadcast by saying, be a beautiful week. And I say be a beautiful week, not have a beautiful week. Because you decide whether or not your week will be beautiful by how you decide to show up. So,
Amen.
Go out and be a beautiful week. All right. Goodbye, everybody.